Hello and welcome to another episode of the Women Can Do show. I hope you all are having an amazing week and get ready to talk about not what's trending, but what's purposeful. So, this episode, I decided to do a solo show so we can talk about something very important. And the topic is a question. What's in your feed? What's in your feed? So when you think about your feed, you think about social media, right? This think about social media, how this happens to a lot of people. You'll be thinking about something, right? Or you'll, for example, one day I mentioned going to Nordstrom's to get some shoes or something like that. All of a sudden, I go onto Facebook and everything Nordstrom pops up in my feed. This went on for about a week. And that's just one example of how this happens, how your thoughts end up being what you are fed. Just think about that. Your thoughts, what you set your thoughts on, end up being what you are fed. So let's talk about it. Let's unpack that. Let's talk about your feed as mental nutrition, right? Let's look at it in that sense. And I have some notes here because I had certain points that I want to make. So let's start with your mind. Like what if your mind had ingredients, what would they be? We go to the store, especially when you're health conscious, right? When you're really trying to make sure that you're feeding your body the right things, we tend to look at the labels, right? So if there was a label of ingredients on your mind, what would they be? Right? What would they be? Would it be positivity or would it be negativity? Like what ingredients are in your mind? What are you holding in your mind? What is housed in your mind? So just think about that. What is housed in your mind? Junk versus nourishment, right? So really ponder on that question. What is housed in my mind? What ingredients are in my mind? Me personally, that's something I had to pay attention to. I had to take a step back and figure out, what causes disturbances in my mind. What are my triggers? And so again, to find out your triggers, you have to know what ingredients are in your mind. What do you have that's sitting in there that doesn't belong or that does belong? What is harmless and what is harmful? Those are the things that we have to think about, right? So another point, you are what you scroll. You are what you scroll. The things you see daily, like whatever you're scrolling on social media, right? And so if you start seeing the same trends or the same topics daily, usually that's going to become your norm. It's going to become your daily norm. It's going to pop up whatever you're scrolling through and whatever you click on. And everyone on social media knows this. I challenge you to, after watching this, do a 24-hour survey or surveillance of your social media and pay attention to how what you click on ends up anything associated with that pops up in your feed, right? So, and then ask yourself, why do I become this way after hours of scrolling? Or who do I become after hours of scrolling? All right. So remember, you are what you scroll. Next point, emotional residue. Emotional residue. The content that you're, diving into or reading, it leaves you in a certain mood, right? It leaves you in a certain mood. Just think about it. Like if you're we especially now, we have so much trending negativity, going on in the world now. And so the more you click on those things and the more you see people posting that, it shifts your mood. It can you really can get upset. And I'm gonna be honest, full transparency. I used to say, how is social media affecting your mood? Like it's social media. It's not like a real person. It's not a human, right? But here's the thing, it's an experience. And so when I see people say social media isn't real, I challenge that. I challenge it because it is. It's a real platform with real people on it. Of course, we know people have fake accounts, whatever. They're, hackers or whatever. Still, it's a person. There's real people on there, right? So it's a real platform with real people that can cause a real experience. So let's stop telling yourself that it's real, because when you say that, you're running away from the fact that, or from accepting the truth that it really does affect your mood because it's an experience, right? I'm going to give you an example. If for me, if I'm on social media and if there's like certain people that every day are posting just negative things that are just spewing venom, every day, um, focused on the negativity, right, that's going on in the world. They're posting that every day. It begins to disturb my spirit to the point where I get annoyed, right? I get annoyed with them. And then I'm like, okay, what are you like? Don't let this, affect you. So what I do is I'll mute them, uh, block their posts, whatever. To get that, I don't want that in my feed. You know what I mean? I don't want it in my feed because what happens is it feeds into your psyche, it feeds into your spirit. I want to challenge you to understand and own that this is a real thing because it's an experience. Experiences are real. Your thoughts, they're real. So let's stop saying that social media isn't real. It's real because it's a real platform that creates real experiences, right? That can shift your mood, and you can fight against it all you want, but I challenge you to really do a surveillance of your feed and pay attention to your mood. I'm going to do this for 24 hours. Pay attention to your mood and how it affects your mood, right? Another point, um, social media, what like when you say what's in your feed, and I'm just using social media as an example because that's not the only thing that is in your feed, right? This is getting to my next point. That's not the only thing that's in your feed. Sometimes conversations that you're having with people off social media, verbal conversations that you're having with people daily, it's in your feed. It's what you're allowing to be fed into your mind, right? Into your spirit. And it also is creating an experience for you. Now, It's either a negative experience or a positive experience. So, for example, if the person you talk to every day, this person closest to you, right? If they're pay attention to their conversations when you're talking to them. Are they always negative? Because what you won't realize until it's probably too late or until it's so far gone and you realize mentally something is off, it's probably because you're allowing negativity to be fed into you from this person that you maybe talk to every day or whatever that is that is always speaking negative words or their negative thoughts, right? Their negative hey, that energy transfer, come on. That transfer of energy is a real thing. Be careful. It's a real thing. So again, what's in your feed? What's in your feed? This does not apply to social media. What's in your feed? What your daily conversations, right? What are you reading? Things that you read. I make sure I'm very intentional about. I've shared this I think before how throughout my day because I work from home, so throughout my day I start my day first of all with prayer and scripture, right? Before I even start working. And so I'll go into YouTube and so there's certain um YouTube channels that I subscribe to, right? That are very positive and empowering. Like, some of them are sermons, some of them are just like motivational talks or whatever. And so every morning, not I like clockwork, every morning I turn it on and I pour into myself, right? I allow it to feed into my spirit. And when I tell you my days are like so much better, right? My days go smooth when I do that. Even if I'm having a hectic day, that'll shift me back, right? Into a proper space, a healthier space, right? Um, and so I'm saying to say this is what happens. So now when I log on YouTube, that's all that's popping up in my feed from even people that I haven't subscribed to, right? Even channels that I haven't subscribed to. But all of the videos that are popping up in my feed are in alignment with the channels that I have subscribed to, right? And so again, it's important to be intentional about what you're allowing into your feed. Um, and take a periodic assessment, right? Like, why is my mood off? Or why do I have a headache, right? Sometimes it's not that you have a sickness, right? That your headache is coming, or why is my blood pressure up? Sometimes it's not that you have high blood pressure. It's that you are allowing things or you're surrounding yourself with people or someone who is continuously speaking negativity or continuously posting negativity, right? So be careful of what you allow into your feed, okay? So another point, trauma and chaos as content. Like, so have you I've been guilty, so I'm gonna share it. So I used to be a huge reality show fan, and I still do. I like reality shows. I really do. And I used to say, "Oh, it's only entertainment." Until I'm going to tell you the Real Housewives. I'm not going to say which one because there's a few that really just started to annoy me when it started getting so when they started with the mean girl behavior, right? The like cattiness and because I'm gonna be like I used to like to watch it just to see how they progress, like their personal lives, how they were building businesses, showcasing the things that they do for the community. I love watching shows like that, especially with women. And so that was my intent, right? And so I start watching them, right? So season after season, and it's like, oh, that's hilarious. Then it's like, wait a minute, this is not hilarious. This is demonic. And so what happened is it started to like disturb my spirit. I remember one night I was watching one of the shows and this cat fight between two of the women got so bad and dirty and just nasty. It I couldn't sleep. And so when I got up that morning, I'm like, what was it? Because one thing I know about myself, what I watch at night will kind of it will result in the way that I sleep, the rest that I get, right? So what I do, I try to like watch like positive, shows. I watch a lot of podcasts, right, on YouTube. So that's like my nightly thing. I now, I watch podcasts, but back in the day, I used to watch like I would DVR these reality shows and I watch them. So this particular night, I watched it and my spirit was just disturbed through my sleep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a real, and that's when I knew, like, hey, stop saying this is just entertainment because it's not. This is like a real thing that can create an experience within you. Right? So experiences are real. So again, just because you say social media is not real. It is. It's a real platform with real people posting. Some of it might be fake what they're posting, but it doesn't matter. It's creating a real experience in you. I'm telling you, you gotta pay attention to that. Sometimes that's what's wrong with your mood. What's wrong with your psyche? That's your why your blood pressure is elevated because of what you are allowing. Again, not just on social media, in your daily conversations. What are you talking about? Are you having productive conversations? Are you having empowering conversations? Let me tell you something. The most beautiful thing is to be on the phone with, and I don't talk on the phone a lot. And there are certain people that I can literally be on the phone with for 2 hours, and that entire conversation is empowering. The feeling after that is the most beautiful thing to me. It's so refreshing. And there's like a couple of good girlfriends that I have that we have those really like deep conversations to where they're productive, they're empowering. We're talking about our life, we're talking about our problems, but we're also talking about solutions, right? To those problems. We're sharing our experience, but we're also talking about solutions, you know what I mean, to those uh problems that we're having and like how we are shaping those experiences or how we're looking at those experiences. And I thank God for that in my life. You know what I mean? It's really a game changer. So I encourage you to be sure to surround yourself with those kind of people where you can sit on the phone for 2 hours with that person and not have a negative word about anyone else. It's just about you and that person. And how are things going? How's your business going? How are things with the kids? How's life going? How are you feeling? And let's talk through that. Let's support one another in that. Let's sit with one another in that. Let's empower and encourage one another in that. Again, when you do that, those things are going to pop up in your daily feed. I promise you. I promise you. And another point. about letting, again, those conversations, voices. What voices are you allowing into your feed, right? Into your mind. Now, voices can be uh someone speaking, right? A voice audible, um, or someone's opinions. Are you letting some other people's opinions, not just their opinion of you, but their opinion about other things? Are you allowing that into your feed? Are you allowing that into your feed? See, you have to get to the point of it's okay to disagree. It's okay to disagree. It's okay that that other person's opinion is different from yours. And it took me time to get, because I used to like, I would like, if somebody had a different opinion than me, it's like I used to be like, your opinion is wrong. And we're about to have a debate about this. Yeah, I and oh, I thank God for deliverance, honey. I thank God that I changed that, because when I changed that, it allowed me to see things from another person's perspective. And even if I end up finding or reconciling that that opinion is wrong, it's not in my feed. I don't keep it in my feed. It's like, okay, you know what? That's their thing, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So we have to be cognizant of that. Be intentional about even that. Um, a lot of times, again, people are having these debates, especially political debates. Oh my gosh, on social media. And that's another thing. The main people who are saying social media isn't real is literally in the comments arguing with someone about politics. So you mean to tell me you're on this fake platform that you're saying is not real, and you're arguing with something that's not real? No, because that's point in case. It created a real experience for you to engage in an argument. I mean, really, we gotta really like own that thing. We gotta own that thing. In the words of Auntie Iyanla Van Zant, call a thing a thing. Call a thing, because that is what it is. So again, what's in your feed? And here's the thing about what you allow into your feed, right? Uh Curating what you allow into your feed is also setting boundaries. It's a form of self-respect. Hear me on this. It's a form of self-respect, right? So here's a very important point uh, that I wrote down that I want to make. Unfollowing isn't rude, it's clarity. Sometimes you got to unfollow people on social media and in real life. Sometimes you have to take a step back from some people. You have to unfollow people. You got to mute people. You got to block people. I don't care who it is. You can block them and still love them, right? God commands us to love them. You can block them, pray for them, and still love them. You can unfollow them, pray for them, and still love them. Yeah, yeah, you can. Newsflash, you can. You can. And again, it's about protecting what goes into your feed, protecting what's in your feed, what's being fed into your mind, body, and soul. Feed doesn't just apply to food, physical food, right? It's about your mind and your soul, your heart. Because I'm telling you, if you keep allowing negativity into your feed, it'll start to affect your heart. And then it starts to affect your physical health, right? Sometimes that thing that you can't figure out what it is or why I can't get these levels right, balanced, stable, why I can't get my blood pressure down. You got to do the heart work. There's something going on in the inside, and God is trying to get your attention, to get you to get rid of it. Trust me, I've been there and done that. I'm speaking from experience. Understand me. Be careful what you allow into your feed. Allow positivity into your feed. Allow yourself to be poured into. Don't allow things into your feed that don't align with your values, with your beliefs. I am so intentional about that. And again, I didn't get it until like, with the social media example, with the YouTube, with me watching things on YouTube, I notice how random things, videos pop up, basically about empowerment. God's word, spiritual, motivational speeches. Literally every day. That is what's in my YouTube channel. Gospel videos, because I love gospel music. So when I work out, I turn on YouTube and pull up YouTube videos and I have like a play mix and I just let it play. So now um new gospel music that, comes. It pops up in my feed. Yeah, so that is a real thing that we aren't really paying attention to. Don't minimize it. I'm telling you, be careful of what's in your feed. Be careful of what's in your feed. And my last point, you can actually, and so we talk about removing, right? Replace what's in your feed. And again, by doing that is what I just said, being intentional about creating, right? Positive experiences. Um, Again, that goes with, hey, you know what? I'm going to follow this page because they really like post positive things every day. Um, I'm going to tune in to this broadcast because it's really powerful. It's really empowering, right? So that's kind of like you say, create a playlist. So again, using the example that I did with my YouTube, create that playlist. So now random things that are in alignment with that pop up. So again, create that playlist, create your feed playlist. I challenge you, I challenge you to create that feed playlist and then ask yourself, what in your feed? Again, like I said at the beginning, do a 24-hour. Because I want you to come back and prove me wrong. I bet you won't. Do a 24-hour surveillance of your feed, not just your social media, but your conversations for 24 hours. And then the next day, watch what pops up in your feed. Watch what thoughts you start having, right? Based on what you were tuned into, right? Or what you were following on social media or what was trending. If you were really like just swiping and feeding into what's trending. I'm telling you, pay attention to it for 24 hours. I did it. Okay. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Because it creates a real experience. It creates a feeling, right? It creates something in your spirit, in your psyche. All right. So again, I'm going to keep asking that question. What's in your feed? Lastly, I want to leave you with 3 questions, and I wrote them down. that you can ask yourself, how does my feed make me feel about myself? How does my feed make me feel about myself? Number two, what emotions dominate my scrolling experience? I just talked about that experience. What emotions dominate my scrolling experience? Lastly, if my feed were a room, would I want to sit in it? Ooh, that's powerful. If my feed were a room, would I want to sit in it? And I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave with you that, and I want you to ponder on that. I pray that someone was inspired. I pray that someone was encouraged to check your feet. I pray that someone was empowered by this episode. We're going to have many more episodes like this where it's just me and you unpacking some things right within ourselves. Again, I wish you all an amazing rest of your week. Happy Black History Month. We know that we celebrate our blackness, our beautiful blackness all year long. I know I do. I know I celebrate my black excellence all year long. And I pray that you all are doing that. But of course, this is Black History Month. So of course we celebrate those that made history, that paved the way for us and created opportunities and spaces for us and for those that are still doing that today. One thing about our I Can Do organization and this platform, the Women Can Do show, it's all about creating spaces. I believe that to create impact is creating spaces, creating opportunity. It's one thing to hand out and give out things, but I believe that creating impact is creating spaces and creating opportunities for others to grow. And we stand on that mission. All right. So God bless you all. Have an amazing Black History Month. And don't forget to celebrate those that came before us, that paved the way for us. All right. God bless you all. Bye bye.